Behind the suits and speeches, US presidents hid bizarre food obsessions: beer for breakfast, raw potatoes, even rhino meat. These aren't just quirks, they're windows into power, ego, and madness. Here are 10 of the strangest presidential eating habits you've never heard of. Number 1. Nixon bans soup in the White House. In the early 1970s, Richard Nixon made a peculiar executive decision: he banned soup from official White House dinners. He found it to be a waste of time and once called it an unnecessary opening act to a meal. According to White House chef Henry Holler, the staff had to completely restructure state dinner menus, removing a staple dish out of pure presidential whim. During a 1971 dinner with Canadian Prime Minister Pierre Trudeau, soup was mistakenly prepared. The kitchen received an urgent call mid-service: ditch the bowls. Servers scrambled to remove the dish just before it reached the table. Nixon instead preferred to begin meals with meat and potatoes, skipping any pretense of elegance. A president who cancels soup, is that control, eccentricity, or just poor taste? Would you challenge that kind of rule? Number 2. Teddy Roosevelt ate the game he hunted, even rattlesnake. Theodore Roosevelt wasn't just a president, he was a hunter, a naturalist, and a man who brought his trophies to the dinner table. While in office, he frequently dined on wild game he personally killed: deer, boar, bear, and even rattlesnake. In 1904, he hosted a dinner where the main course was bear meat he'd hunted in Louisiana. His wife, Edith Roosevelt, refused to eat wild creatures, demanding a separate meal from the chefs. Once, Roosevelt even asked for alligator tail, though the kitchen discreetly avoided it. To him, eating game wasn't just sustenance, it was patriotism. He believed wild American meat built character. Foreign diplomats were often stunned. "He eats like he fights," one guest reportedly said after chewing through overcooked venison. Is hunting for dinner presidential valor or frontier madness? Number 3. John Adams drank beer for breakfast. Second President John Adams had a morning ritual that would raise eyebrows today: he drank beer with breakfast. In a 1796 letter, he casually wrote, "My breakfast is milk and cider or beer, or sometimes chocolate." But deeper records reveal a stronger habit: he drank a full tankard of ale nearly every morning, paired with corn cakes or buttered bread. At the time, water was often unsafe, and beer was considered a wholesome alternative. Still, Adams took it to an extreme. His wife Abigail worried about his routine, writing in a letter that he must argue, eat, and drink before noon or he falls ill. He even defended beer philosophically, calling it a divine gift for the common man. The quote, "Beer is proof that God loves us," is often misattributed to Franklin, but Adams wrote a variation first. For a man who helped draft the Constitution, his breakfast was surprisingly medieval. Can you build a republic on beer, or was Adams just breakfasting like a pirate? Number 4. Abraham Lincoln barely touched meat and loathed hunting. Abraham Lincoln was a towering figure in war and politics, but when it came to food, he was practically a minimalist vegetarian. He rarely ate meat, detested hunting, and claimed he couldn't enjoy food that once looked at him with eyes. His favorite meal? A slice of apple pie and a glass of milk. On most days, Lincoln ate alone and in silence, often forgetting to finish his meals. He once refused venison at a banquet, saying, "That creature ran free once." It's not right. Mary Todd Lincoln told friends her husband preferred simple fare, dry toast, fruit, and cracked corn mush. Even during the Civil War, he asked staff not to waste money on French sauces or rich meats. To generals, it was baffling. To Lincoln, it was moral consistency. Number 5. Zachary Taylor ate raw potatoes and may have died from it. 12th President Zachary Taylor had a baffling habit: he ate raw potatoes, unpeeled and uncooked, like apples. A lifelong military man, he claimed the earthy taste reminded him of a simpler America. Staff reported that he washed them in well water and chewed noisily during meetings. Doctors warned him of the risks: raw potatoes can carry toxins and bacteria, but he insisted it built character. First Lady Margaret Taylor begged him to stop. He didn't. On July 4, 1850, Taylor reportedly consumed cherries, iced milk, and raw vegetables during a hot celebration. Days later, he died of sudden gastrointestinal illness. Though theories vary, from cholera to poisoning, some historians believe his raw eating habits may have sealed his fate. Number 6. Gerald Ford ate moldy bread and didn't notice. Gerald Ford, known for his clumsy image, also had shockingly lax food standards. According to White House staff, he frequently ate expired or moldy food without blinking. In one instance, he consumed a visibly moldy dinner roll and said, "A bit tangy, but not bad." Ford's personal chef once caught him sipping milk days past expiration. He shrugged, "Waste not, want not." Aides began labeling expired goods for Ford only just to avoid embarrassment during events. Doctors warned him multiple times, but Ford claimed, "If it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger." One staffer joked, his stomach could survive nuclear war. Number 7. Donald Trump eats pizza with a knife and fork, but never the crust. Donald Trump has a peculiar pizza habit. He eats it with a knife and fork and always leaves the crust behind. In a 1995 interview, he explained, "I don't eat the edges to cut down on carbs. It's my own form of diet." He also had specific instructions: the cheese must not drip, and there should be very little tomato sauce. He preferred to eat pizza in his hotel suite, served on a gold-plated dish, ordering only pepperoni or plain cheese, nothing fancy. The habit became a viral moment in 2011 when he was filmed sharing a Pizza Hut meal with Sarah Palin. The image of Trump delicately cutting his slice while she picked hers up by hand sparked a social media frenzy. Critics mocked him, while fans defended the classy approach. Trump later brushed off the controversy, saying, "I'm just a refined guy. What's wrong with that?" Number 8. Harry Truman demanded steaks cooked to death. Harry S. Truman had one non-negotiable food rule: no pink meat ever. He wanted his steaks, pork, even chicken fully incinerated. His cook, Mrs. Mary Alice Hadley, said Truman once sent back a steak 5 times until it could have resoled a shoe. He considered rare meat a hazard and an insult to the kitchen. During diplomatic dinners, chefs were warned, no blood on the plate. French officials were horrified when their medium-rare duck was replaced with dry-cut pork. His favorite meal? A well-done pork chop with overcooked green beans and a glass of warm milk. Not glamorous, but very Truman. Number 9. Jimmy Carter's peanut obsession nearly hospitalized staff. As a former peanut farmer, Jimmy Carter turned the White House into a peanut paradise. Peanut butter at breakfast, roasted peanuts for snacks, even peanut sauce on state dinner dishes. Carter even sent jars of his own peanut butter to world leaders as gifts. The problem? Several staffers were severely allergic. One intern reportedly collapsed during a reception due to peanut traces on hors d'oeuvres. From that point, peanuts were banned from communal spaces, but Carter kept a stash in the private residence. "I was raised on it," he once said. "It's part of my DNA." One aide joked, "He doesn't have blood, he has peanut oil." Number 10. Reagan's jelly bean obsession reached nuclear proportions. Ronald Reagan loved jelly beans, loved them enough to keep them in the Oval Office, his bedroom, and even Air Force One. But it went further. 3 tons of jelly beans were ordered for his 1981 inauguration. He particularly favored Jelly Belly's licorice flavor, claiming it helped him quit smoking. The Secret Service even kept a supply in the nuclear football suitcase, just in case. During cabinet meetings, he'd toss jelly beans to advisors to break tension. When Gorbachev visited, Reagan sent him a diplomatic box labeled "Peace and Sugar." Candy became politics.